Well, here we are for question number 7. All about two trains leave a station on different tracks. A lot of your parents and grandparents probably have nightmares about problems that involve trains from when they were in algebra. It seemed like every other word problem in the book was about two trains leaving a station on different tracks at different speeds. The tracks make an angle of 75 degrees with the station as the vertex. The first train travels at an average speed of 100 miles per hour and the second an average of 65 miles per hour. So let's see how our picture refers to that. Here's the train station. B is the train station. One train is going off in this direction 65 miles per hour and another train is going off in this direction 100 miles per hour. So we are supposed to figure out how far apart the trains are after 2 hours. Alright, well that's why this is 130, because it's going 65 miles per hour. 65 times 2 is 130. So this is where the train is after 2 hours. And the other train is traveling 100 miles per hour off in this direction. And that's where it is located. It's located at A, and the first train is located at C. Or I guess it's the other way around. So the first train is the 100-mile-an-hour train, so that's at A. Second train's at C. So they want to know how far apart are the trains after 2 hours. Alright? So we are trying to figure out how far apart these two trains are. So what are we trying to figure out? We're trying to figure out this distance. That's how far apart the trains are. We're trying to figure out B. So we're using the law of cosines. Notice that this is not a right triangle. So here you go. Here's your big chance to use the law of cosines. This is the first triangle we've seen in this that isn't a right triangle. Alright, so c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cosine of c. Alright, we're trying to find a side length, b. Okay, so the key to setting this up is to put the side length we're trying to find first, b squared, and to put the angle that is opposite that side at the end, cosine of 75. Remember, we match up opposite angle and side in this law of sine and cosine. Okay, so now remember what this means. Cosine of 75. That means the value that you get when you put in your calculator cosine 75. All right. So now we just do the math. 200 squared is 40,000. 130 squared is 16,900. 2 times 200 times 130 is 5,200 times cosine of 75. Alright, so we simplify it, putting these two numbers together as 1. And we cannot do the minus 5,200 because it's attached by multiplication to this cosine of 75. Alright, so we can't do that. We can only add these two numbers together. Alright, so 56,900 minus 5,200 times the cosine of 75 equals 43,441. So now we square root that, because b squared equals 43,441, and find out that these two trains are about 208 miles apart. Okay, so we figured that out. Now we know all three side lengths. But we are supposed to find out what angle A measures also. That's this one. What's angle A? Well, we've got the information that we need for that. We can use the law of sines, which is easier to use because it's just a proportion. So here's how we do it. We know we have the sine of 75 over 208. And this is the angle we're trying to find right here, angle A. So what side is across from it? Its opposite side is 130. So we have to use 130 in our proportion also. So we set it up like this. The sine of A over 130, because the sine of the angle we're trying to find, over 130, the side length across from that angle, opposite that angle, equals the sine of 75, the known angle here, over its opposite side, 208. Alright, so we do the math, we cross multiply. 130 times sine of 75, sine of A times 208. So now we got 130 times the sine of 75 equals 208 times the sine of A. Divide both sides by 208. Alright, so these cancel out. And then 130 times the sine of 75. Remember to close parentheses. You can press equals if you want. And then divide by 208. And this is our ratio. This does not mean that it's a 60-degree angle. This means that this is the value we're going to put into our calculator when we are trying to find an angle measure. So we use the inverse in the sine, 0.6037, and our calculator will tell us it's about 37 degrees. Alright, so now that we know that this is 37, it's very easy to find our third angle, just 180 minus 75 minus 37. We know they have to add up to 180. It's 68 degrees. So we use law of cosines and law of sines to answer the questions in this one. Alright, and that's it for number 7. Angle A is 37 degrees, angle C is 68 degrees.